Hello everybody, SlimKirby here. Welcome to another extra video of the Sonic 3 and Knuckles playthrough. This video will be done in post-commentary because I did not want to show a complete playthrough of the Tails mode. But there are a lot of things I wanted to show off when playing as Tails, and I did think Tails did warrant an extra video of sorts, so this is what I have decided to do. I did a complete playthrough of Tails. I recorded the whole thing and kind of grabbed a series of highlights of things that you can expect to find during Tails mode when you play as the little guy. Now, Tails, I will admit, is actually my favorite character to play as in this game because Tails controls exactly like Sonic, moves about the same speed, jumps about the same height, all that stuff, with the added effect of being able to fly. This will allow Tails to discover loads and loads of secrets throughout all of the levels of the game. And in a way, I would almost call this kind of an easy mode of sorts, because you can find a lot more lives, you can find a lot more hidden shields and stuff like that. Tails basically makes this game a lot easier and a lot more fun as well. As you can see, you can do stuff like this, where you can kind of tease the cinematics, try to get Knuckles when you in reality can't get him at all because there's an invincible wall right there, or invisible wall, my bad. And you can also take giant shortcuts like this in the first Hydro City Act. You don't have to fall to the very water at the very beginning, you can just fly up and away from it all and take the high path, which I think is really, really cool. And that's pretty much the major dynamics of Tails mode, finding secrets, flying high, and a lot of other cool stuff. I did actually find a lot of stuff that I never actually found in any playthroughs before I did this video, so it's actually kind of cool to discover things. I did take a look at some of the maps that you can find online of all the zones, and see what areas that only Tails can access. There are some areas that Knuckles can also access as well, but I feel like it's a bit easier with Tails because Tails can fly over spikes that might be protruding in the walls. But on the other hand, you can't fly for very long either, because the longer you fly, Tails will eventually get tired and you'll need to actually relax. So in cases like that, Knuckles can also be more beneficial to find things, but there are some sections that only Tails can get. So, in reality, there's some things that both of them can get, some things that only Tails can get, and some things that only Knuckles can get. For the most part, I think I covered all of the very, very specific things that Tails can get, but I am willing to admit that I probably missed a few things along the way. This is a very big game, after all, and there are bound to be lots of secrets in this game as well, so part of the fun of this game is finding the secrets yourself, so I'm going to leave, you know, those secrets that I didn't find up to you guys to find in your own exploratory playthroughs of this game. Really, that's the main draw of Tails' playthrough, I think. It's just the exploring, being able to take these humongous zones and just explore them to your heart's content. That's what makes this game so much fun, because you can be Sonic and just blaze through the entire game with pure speed. You can use Knuckles to experience some areas that Sonic and Tails can't even explore. And then you have Tails, who can pretty much almost explore everything. It just makes this game so much fun to play and revisit on several playthroughs at a time. Now, like I said, Sonic and Tails playthroughs are very similar. There are a few differences, and the first main difference comes here in Marble Garden Act 2. If you remember, this is the boss fight, and for the boss fight you actually have to use Sonic and Tails together to actually defeat Robotnik. If you're using just Tails, though, you do not have the luxury of having Sonic with you. You actually have to use Tails by himself, which actually makes this kind of a unique and different boss fight, because this can actually be kind of tricky. You can attack Eggman with the tails that make kind of like a helicopter propeller, and that is essentially how you do damage to him, which makes this boss fight a lot harder. This is probably the only hard part of Tails' playthrough, taking on this boss. There are a few other trouble spots, I think, but for the most part this is definitely where the major trouble spot will be. And once you beat this boss, it's pretty much easy going for the rest of the way. And Tails doesn't go to Doomsday Zone. Tails' game stops at the Death Egg Zone. so you won't have to worry about that. And there is also a huge difference when it comes to the supersonic ability that Tails has, and we'll actually be discovering that in this little scene here. I'll go ahead and start talking about it, but at this point I actually have all 7 Chaos Emeralds. So if I was Sonic, I could go ahead and transform into Supersonic. However, with Tails, I cannot do that. This is because Tails does not have a Chaos Emerald form. Tails only has a Super Emerald form, so you can't even use his supersonic ability until you get all of the Super Emeralds in the second half of the game. Which is kind of lame, I will admit, but when you actually see what Tails' supersonic ability is capable of, I think you could probably understand, because it can be quite broken when used at specific times in the game. And I'll definitely go over that when I get to those points, but for the most part though, Tails, a lot of fun to use, a lot of fun to explore different areas with. Here in Launch Base Zone, this is another difference, I guess. In this tube right here, Tails will actually go up, while both Sonic and Knuckles will go down. It's not a major drift in the two adventures. You eventually get to the same path in a little bit anyway. But it was kind of interesting to find that out, that for some reason Tails goes up here. And in reality he shouldn't, because I mean, he plays exactly like Sonic. There's nothing that Sonic can handle that Tails can't, so I always found that kind of weird, while there is like such a different path there. I don't know, if someone can verify, I would appreciate it, but yeah, there's for some reason Tails is not allowed to go down. I don't know, maybe it's a no foxes zone or something like that. I have no idea. I honestly couldn't tell you. But we are getting to the very end of the Sonic 3 part of the playthrough, and then we can actually get into the Sonic and Knuckles zones, which is actually kind of interesting, because Tails cannot play through Sonic and Knuckles unless the Sonic 3 is locked on top of it, so there are bound to be some interesting secrets you can find. But I should also mention that this is because of the whole Supersonic thing and the Chaos Emerald thing. Tails does not turn into Super Tails in the Sonic 3 version by itself. Also, this is a little secret that I found really interesting. Knuckles and Sonic can get this as well, but I didn't actually show it in the Sonic playthrough. You can actually find this secret island up here where you can find all 3 shields and a 1-up. I thought that was kind of interesting to show off. And in Flying Batter, you can actually skip this really difficult platforming segment with Tails completely. Thought that was kind of cool. And there's also a secret area right here that I thought was kind of interesting to show off. It doesn't really take you anywhere. Again, a lot of these paths just end up taking you to the same route anyway, but still, there are some paths that are pretty unique that I kind of felt like showing off, and this is one of them. This path right here actually shows off that there's another outside segment with the missiles before you get to the original one. That's actually a little later in the level, so I don't know, just thought it was kind of interesting to show off. Knuckles can also get up here as well. Again, there's a lot of areas that both Tails and Knuckles share, after all. And here we go, I got Super Tails now. Super Tails pretty much acts like Hypersonic in terms of speed and jumping. I think jumping anyway. Doesn't look like Tails jumps that much higher, I guess. But as you can see, there are a bunch of birds floating around Tails. What these birds will do is they'll actually home in on enemies, and they'll basically get enemies for you. And this was actually kind of funny, but apparently you can attack the Robotnik boss fight laser in this fight for some reason. It doesn't make the boss fight any quicker. Like, I hit this thing at least like 50 times, especially once I did this. So, yeah, this is not doing anything whatsoever, but still, it was kind of interesting finding this out, and this can really show you the power of Super Tails and what he can do with bosses. And yeah, here in Sandopolis Zone, you can find another secret. This will actually lead us to a ring, a hidden ring, like a bonus ring, that I believe only Tails can get. I don't think Knuckles is capable of getting up here. But anyway, here's the funniest boss fight, I think. Yeah, Tails just freaking pushed him against the wall. That was, oh my god, the power Tails has. Here's another really awesome secret in Hidden Palace Zone. You can actually find another hidden island of power-ups up here. This will have not only the three shields, the elemental shields. You can also get speed boots, a ring, and invincibility stars. And if you fly to the other side, you can find some more rings and a 1-up as well. And you guys remember that Knuckles fight that you do in this zone? Hey Knuckles, what's going on, buddy? What's going on? Oh, I hit you. Oh, look at you. Oh, I'm just running into you now. You can't attack me. Oh, no. There we go. Oh, even got a double hit right there. Oh, God. That's just the best part of the Super Tails ability, I think. Just being capable of doing stuff like that. Here we are in Sky Sanctuary. The reason why I'm showing this is I'm actually demonstrating that you can skip both the two mini-boss fights you have during the level and just get to the main boss fight by just flying over the level. You can do that here. So yeah, this really demonstrates that Tails is essentially easy mode. You can fly over everything, discover a lot of goodies that can help you beat the game a lot easier when the game is really not even that hard to beat, and it's just a lot of fun too. I really did enjoy myself playing through as Tails again, just because of just these little things you can find. The exploration in this game is amazing, and it's just something I really wish you would find in other platforming games. I mean, you could kind of do what like Sonic 2006 did with the gems that allow like Sonic to pretty much hover over the entire level and stuff like that, but I don't know, in a way that made the game too broken. Like, you still have to have some kind of leeway when exploring, and I think that Tails does a perfect job in this game at showing that. So yeah, platformers take note. I mean, you should definitely still have a challenge and force your players to play through the game, but have a side option where you can kind of explore too, because I think that makes the game just a whole lot more fun, just in my opinion anyway. But yeah, this was really cool. Like I said, Tails is definitely my favorite character to play as in this collection. A lot of fun. Next week I will be starting the Knuckles playthrough, so I hope you guys are ready for that. But aside from that, I'm just going to close up with these few short Tails clips, and then I'll be on my way. Yep, as you can see, didn't even have to fight the other two bosses. I'm right here on the Sonic, Mecha Sonic fight. Here's a pretty substantial shortcut in Death Egg Zone 1. This is kind of cool because this pretty much skips half of the entire level. It takes you right to that little pinball section that where you have to hit the 6 buttons, and just never really knew about this before. And yeah, I think you can only get this with Tails, which means you can probably get this with Knuckles too, but I don't really know for sure. I guess there'll have to be people who just have to come in here and test it out or something, I don't know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna close out this video with one more boss fight with Tails. But after that, I'm going to see you guys next week for the Knuckles playthrough. Like I said before, definitely recommend playing through this game at Tails at least once, just to do some exploring and have fun with it. It's a lot of fun to do so. So yeah. I will talk to you guys later then. Thanks for watching. See you, Star Warriors, next time. Later, folks. Alright, let's do this! Yeah, no problem.